Welcome to Recharge, brought to you by RE/MAX of Michigan, where we share real stories, real strategies, real estate. Each episode will dive into inspiring conversations from top agents, industry leaders, and experts in their field, talking about their experiences, their insights, and their tips to help you succeed in your business and your mind. Let's get you charged up for success. This is Recharge. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Kaylee Wilkinson, and I am joined by my co-host, Regional Director Ashley Dane. And welcome to this episode of Recharge.
Today, we are excited to welcome a very special guest, Mike Metzner, our regional owner at RE/MAX of Michigan. Mike has been a driving force in growing the network, supporting our brokers and agents, and really being a force of change across the industry and the state. We're excited to have him here to share his journey, his vision on leadership, and his thoughts for what's ahead in the future.
Welcome to the podcast.
Great to be here.
Yeah. For those who may not know your story, can you share your journey into real estate and how you got to be where you are today as regional owner of RE/MAX of Michigan?
Sure, be happy to.
Yeah.
Well, it started many years ago, actually in this city, East Lansing, Michigan.
Go green.
Go green, go white. Thank you.
Yeah.
Graduated in 1981, and back in 81, the economy was in tatters, and everybody was bailing out of Michigan. I had some job offers that were totally inadequate. And I said, I'm not doing that. So I decided that Texas was in my future. Had a classmate that headed down to Texas. The two of us went down. We had many other classmates follow us. And so I arrive in Houston, Texas. Got to figure out a job. Got to get a career.
Yeah.
And
much different than here in Lansing, eh?
It was totally different.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So I wound up interviewing with a builder for a sales position and got the job. And so that's how my career started in real estate back in 1981. And the company was called NPC Home Builders, big builder, new construction. And I started with them in 81 as a salesperson, progressed through the ranks there up to sales manager and then marketing director for the company. So 1985, the market in Houston went from boom to bust, and everything changed dramatically within probably about 6 months.
Wow.
At that point, I decided it was time to head back to Michigan.
Yeah.
So came back to Michigan and got licensed here in the state, and went to work in typical real estate resale.
Mm-hmm.
Worked for a company in Grand Rapids called Westdale Better Homes and Gardens, and that's where I learned about this industry.
Yeah.
And it was a great transition for me.
Yeah, great.
So from there, I worked in Grand Rapids for a couple of different companies. Went from Westdale's. Wound up moving over to Realty World as a sales manager, and then eventually their corporate office called and offered me a position with the franchise office. So that's how I transitioned into the franchise end of this industry.
Wow. You've really seen every aspect of this business.
I've seen a lot. So going on 40 plus years in the industry now. And I look back, and one of the interesting stories that I have from early in my career was I was at a sales conference one time, and the speaker asked everybody stand up. And I'm thinking, oh, this isn't going to be one of those back rub things, is it? Like, no, we don't do it. Yeah, no. So everybody stands up, and the speaker says, okay, if you've been in the industry less than a year, please sit down. And a bunch of people sat down. And then he said, okay, less than 5 years. More people sat down. Less than 10, 15, 20. So finally, he got to the point where he said, okay, anybody under 40 years, please sit down. Basically, everybody was sitting at this point, and there was one guy standing in the back of the room.
40 years.
Over 40 years in the industry, gray-haired guy, hunched over with a cane. And I'm sitting there thinking,
I'm going to be that guy.
That's going to be me one of these days. And that's me now, 44 years in the industry.
Amazing.
Not hunched over, no cane.
No cane.
Still going strong.
Lived a good life.
Still going strong. Yeah, so that's sort of my history in the industry.
Sure. Now, when you started with RE/MAX, Norm and Elda Helm were the leaders for RE/MAX of Michigan. Mm-hmm. How did you meet them, and what was that experience like for you?
So this was back in 1994, and I had I made a choice to leave the company I was currently with and was looking for a different opportunity. And I made a couple of calls to talk to some people that I knew that I would want for references. And one of those individuals was a broker that I had been working with at Realty World. Her name was Sue Vowles from Kalkaska, Michigan. And just by chance, she was now with the RE/MAX organization. Okay. And she said, absolutely, happy to be one of your references. And she said, what are you looking for? And, I told her. She knew what I used to do at Realty World. And I was looking for something similar. And she says, well, I think you should talk to Norm Helm.
Oh, cool.
And I like, perfect. Tell me about it. So I called Norm and we arranged an interview for a couple of days later. And that's when I met Norm and Elda. And so had a great interview and I had great references because Sue Vowles gave me glowing reviews. And also the individual that was their franchise salesperson, Diana Fredericks, was the franchise salesperson I worked with at Realty World.
Oh, wow.
So she gave me glowing reviews as well. And so a week later, on July 8th, 1994, I began my career with RE/MAX.
Wow. What a great story. And you've been here ever since and a pillar of leadership. So what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced early on in RE/MAX leadership? Well,
I don't know if it was what I would call a challenge with the RE/MAX leadership, but an industry challenge. When I started, we had about 50 offices in the state and under 600 associates. And we were battling it out with all the other real estate companies in the state. Yeah. Everybody was sort of just duking it out. You had all the alphabet soup of every other franchise that was in the state. You had a lot of independents that were in the state. And when you have that many people all grouped together, all fighting for market share, it was a dogfight.
It gets ugly.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so we the goal and the vision was to grow and to achieve premier market presence. And that was the vision that Norm and Elda shared with me and that I've carried on. And basically that what it comes down to is being the most professional and doing the most for your customers and clients and achieving premier market presence, which is being number one in the market. So over time, we grew and we eventually went from about 50 offices and under 600 associates to a peak of 90 plus offices and over 1,300 associates.
Wow.
And so that put us into the number one position.
Absolutely.
And being number one is a great thing.
That's wonderful. Yep.
So, Mike, this is such a unique industry. Our agents' lives are entwined with their business and their clients. It's so personal to their clients and what they're doing in their communities, with their kids and their families. Anyone that knows you knows that your family is the center of everything that you do. You live and breathe that. And yes, business is there, but how would you say that families played a role in your life and your business career?
Well, everything I've done in life is about family. Here's where the emotions come out.
He's a soft-hearted soul. This is the real Mike Metzner.
So family is such an important thing to me. Blessed with a wonderful, supportive wife, Hita. She is my rock. Two wonderful kids, Michael Jr. and Isabella. Been coming to RE/MAX events in diapers since we were little kids. So it really is a family affair. Over the years, they have gotten to know our our brokers, our associates, and likewise, so many of our brokers and associates know Hita, know our kids, and so it really truly is a family affair, and that just drives what I do to help our brokers be successful, because their success becomes our success here at RE/MAX.
Yeah, and I know that in the vast history of your career, you've had such an impact on so many people's lives. Our brokers opening offices in communities and building communities. Our agents, their lives changing when they find an industry that helps them reach all of their goals and their dreams. I've seen you celebrate with our brokers. I've seen you comfort our brokers in difficult times and challenges. It's so clear that it's such a large family. It's so personal. How have the brokers and agents really become an extension of your family and your amazingly beautiful heart?
Well, it's without having that connection on a personal basis, it would just be business, and it would just be dollars and cents. And that's a very sterile way to live your life and run a business. The people in this organization mean a great deal to me, and it's all about service. And so that's, I really believe I'm here to serve, and that is my guiding principle in life. The one thing that really gives me a sense of satisfaction and worth, I guess, is seeing how everybody grows and blossoms within the RE/MAX system. There is such great opportunity for brokers and associates here that it's just incredible. Yeah. I look at a lot of small towns around the state where at best you might have an opportunity to make $50,000, $60,000 in a typical job. And then you see these associates and brokers of ours that leave a job like that and come to RE/MAX for the opportunity. And next thing you know, they're 100% club, platinum club, chairman's club, and they're living lives that are transformative for them and their families. So when I see that, it just warms my heart.
Yeah. Yeah. And RE/MAX really does change people's lives if they really intertwine with their office, their community, their culture. And you, as a leader for RE/MAX in Michigan, we feel it. You lead with love. You lead with respect. The brokers and agents feel that too. And I hope that you get that love and respect back from those around you.
I absolutely have. Yeah. And, I talk a lot about the brokers, talk a lot about the associates, but I also want to share the gratitude I have for our regional staff. Oh. It's been it's been 30 plus years. Yeah. I've been blessed with folks like you that have done the hard work day in and day out to provide the service to our brokers and associates. And I can't do it alone. I never have done it alone. And so it's the staff that we've had has been a true pleasure to work with for 30 plus years. I
agree. I think our staff is top notch, and I am lucky to just be a part of that and to grow alongside these ladies and you. And it's been a wonderful adventure thus far. So
What's that adage you always say? If you love what you do, it doesn't feel like a day of work.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
So, Mike, you are a titan in this industry, whether you recognize it or not. People see you walk into the room, they know it's Mike Metzner. Can you reflect on what it's been like to grow RE/MAX as the #1 real estate company in Michigan and what that means to you?
Sure. First of all, I don't look at myself as a titan of industry.
You should.
We all know you are.
If that's the case, I consider maybe I'm a quiet titan.
That's all right.
I've never been the outgoing, loud, spread the message kind of guy. I sort of do it quietly, but I do it with a purpose. And over the years, as I've said, I've surrounded myself with great individuals that bring something to the table that we pass on down to our associates. There've been a couple of things that were, I think, transformative. Number one is attracting great franchise brokers to the organization.
Oh, yes.
And they are that cog in the wheel that makes that growth happen. So Diana Fredericks, I mentioned earlier, she was one of the early builders of this organization and brought in a lot of great brokers into RE/MAX in Michigan. The other thing that really has helped us is we have been leaders in technology amongst all the regions and on a national level. Some of the things that we bring to our brokers and associates here in Michigan filter their way up to RE/MAX headquarters, and we've helped lead that change. So years ago, Dan Troop was very instrumental in that, and Ashley Dane now, of course, is our other tech leader, and they're so well respected in this industry, and they've done so much to give our agents and our brokers the tools necessary to intertwine that technology with their personal businesses. So those have been some transformative times. The other thing is just that drive for excellence and to be number one in the region. And for years, I would see other businesses, other companies claiming to be number one in Michigan. I'm like, it's not true. And many years ago, I went to Dan Troop and said, Dan, I need absolute proof. And the tech genius that he was able to dig in and how he got all the figures. I'm not going to reveal, but he got us all the figures. And from the moment we had that, we have proudly proclaimed that we are the number one real estate organization in Michigan ever since. And we've never lost that title. Amazing.
Absolutely amazing. So throughout these years, what is one leadership lesson that you have learned that you wish you would have known maybe 25 years ago?
So through the broker coaching program that we've done in the state, we've done a lot of book reviews and tried to educate ourselves on the things that matter most in life and that matter most in business. And one of my favorite books was called The Happiness Advantage. And in that book, they talk about the phases or the levels of your working life. And one is to have a job, one is to have a career, and one is to have a calling. And for me, RE/MAX has been a calling. And before that, I had a job and I had a career. But the level of passion and what you're willing to do when it's your calling is very transformative. And I probably didn't have that early in my real estate career, but certainly I have that here at RE/MAX.
Well, I'll speak for our regional staff as well as the agents and brokers in our region. We are very appreciative that this is your calling and this is what you feel like is your purpose, because you do an excellent job of that, and we all appreciate that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Just to highlight it, and I think it's important to say, we've talked about it, you've kind of been demure about it, but truly the brand that you've built over the last several decades, RE/MAX as a brand would not be what it is today without your leadership, without your determined support of every single person that's a part of this network.
Well, and that's the key is I'm sort of like just the delivery system because it's not about me. It's not about our regional staff. It's not about, corporate or anything like that. It really starts with the agents. Without the agents, this organization really isn't anything. And so it starts at the agent level, works up to the broker level, and then it up from there.
Sure.
So the bottom line is what we've done at the region is to deliver the support, the brand, the tools that they need to be successful. And it's their success that has become our success.
And the right person at the right time with a calling for this passion.
Sure.
So RE/MAX in Michigan is known for fostering a strong community, and culture is at the top of that. So what is your approach to building a office culture?
It's the bottom line is I believe that we all need to come together. And I'll talk a little bit about that in reference to like our regional conference.
Yeah.
So those events are the highlight of our year. And we bring people together to celebrate, to learn, to network. Without bashing on anybody, I've gone to other events and they come together to separate. They come together at an event and then they go off into their small little meetings and this group doing this and that group doing that. We've always tried to keep everybody together. That's one of the reasons I love our conference when we do it up at the Grand Traverse Resort. They're locked in.
It's the dead of winter. Nobody's going anywhere.
They can't go. We've got a captive audience there. And so, part of that community is bringing people together and the sharing that happens. And over the years, I've seen how our brokers and our associates can come together and an agent can say, hey, you did platinum last year. How'd you get there? Yeah. And that agent say, let me show you. Yeah. They're willing to share. It's not like that at every other real estate organization. A lot of companies, those agents or those brokers say, I'm not going to share my secrets because if I do, then you might do better than me. And that's never been the way at RE/MAX. Yeah. Some people in the industry have accused us of being a bunch of sharks. We're anything but. We're just highly productive agents and brokers. And it's because of that community that we all feel and that we all want to do well together. So, part of this is all about creating the environments that people want to be a part of, that they want to come together, they want to share with each other. So we've tried to do that on the regional level with our regional conferences, the fall sales conference, golf outings, tech tours, all that kind of stuff is designed to create that community and bring everybody together. Yeah. On the broker level, our brokers do that also. They create that smaller community in their offices. And the more our agents engage in that office community, the better off that office is going to be. True. And quite frankly, the better off the agents are going to be.
We're all better together.
That's right.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So how have you seen the Michigan real estate market evolve over the years, and what role has RE/MAX played throughout those years?
Well, it's just the industry in general has seen significant changes in this last, I'll go back more than 50 years ago when RE/MAX started. Yeah. Prior to that, it was pretty much the standard. It was a 50-50 split with your brokers. They didn't have things called teams. Every agent was basically on their own. In Michigan, Norman Aldous started RE/MAX Michigan in 1977, and they've changed the industry here in the state, and just as RE/MAX did nationwide. So the impact that RE/MAX has had has changed the landscape here in the state. I remember early on there were a couple other franchises that were like the big dogs in the state. Yeah. And they're no longer the big dogs. Right. We've changed that landscape. We've attracted the best agents in the industry to the RE/MAX organization. And as I've said, we're number one. Yeah. And we want to continue to be number one. Yeah. So those are some of the impacts that we've seen. The industry in general here in Michigan is so dependent on the auto industry. And I've seen some things over the years that I understand that what the real estate industry is good at and what Michigan is good at and what it's not good at. Number one, we're always the leaders into recession, and we usually stay in that recession longer.
Great title. Yeah. That's just...
it's sad but true. Yeah. But what that has also done is made our agents and our brokers battle hardened. And those that have survived now dominate. Yeah. Yeah.
So you have worked with hundreds of brokers and agents throughout the years. What would you say are some qualities that make the best ones and the most successful ones stand out?
Well, number one, it all comes down to customer service, and it's a service attitude that creates that longevity in this industry. If it's an all about me attitude, customers, clients, they see through it. When I look back at my history, one of my first mentors in the industry was a manager who shared with me a phrase that he said, if you will take care of your customers for the first 3 years in your career, they will take care of you for the rest. And very profound. Great words of wisdom. And basically what he was saying is, take care of your customers and clients. Don't forget about them. Stay in contact. Create your sphere of influence. You create that sphere of influence, and then those people will take care of you in the rest of your career. Repeat business, referral business. And when I look around our region, the agents that are the most productive year after year are the ones that have done that. They serve their customers. They create that sphere. Vast majority of their business, 80% or more, typically comes from repeat and referral business. Yeah,
it's not a transaction per se. It is someone who's taking care of you from step one all the way past the signature.
It's not transactional.
No,
it's relationship based, and it's generational.
Yeah,
it's grandparents, parents, kids that are all using those same agents.
And we're honored to. It's part of the structure, but we're honored to have the top agents in the state doing what they do. And we say that we want to offer the most professional agents in the state, the most professional level of services, so that they can excel at what they do, so that they can be the best. And they earn the right to have those intergenerational referrals coming in from everyone they know in the community.
Absolutely. Yes.
So I look at the last 5 years, and we've been in a real estate roller coaster, right? So we have COVID, transactions bottom out, interest rates drop, and transactions fly through the roof, and we're riding high. Then we run into industry lawsuits and industry change, and then interest rates are sky high and transactions are low. It has been exhausting to keep up with everything that's been happening. Now, in your vision, in your, Mike casting into the future, what do you see coming in the next 1 year, 3 years, 5 years?
Yeah, we've had some interesting times over the last 5 years. COVID obviously was the beginning of that 5-year cycle where we had the shutdown that basically put us all out of business for several months.
That wasn't stressful at all.
Not at all.
What a fun time.
It was a joy. and when we came out of that, I don't think anybody could have predicted what was going to happen.
Yeah.
We went from literally the worst first quarter in the history of our region that I can ever remember to the best second half of the year we've ever had. And it went from dead stop to rocket ship taking off. And the next 2 years were just crazy. I mean, it was taking orders for houses and it was nuts. And then things flipped again. And we had inflation, we had interest rates spiking, and everything slowed down. And we had low inventory, which is still a challenge that we're facing right now. And so now, what are we looking at moving forward? Well, everybody's hoping that interest rates come down. Hope so. But is that going to be the cure-all? I don't think so. Because when those interest rates come down, what you're going to see some of those people that are holding on their houses right now because they got that 3% interest rate or whatever it is, they're going to get back in the market. And so, and then there's going to be a rush to buy because those rates are back in a range that people want to buy. So you're going to have some more inventory coming on, but you're going to have a whole lot more buyers that are gobbling up those houses. So we're still going to have that inventory problem. we have a massive generation of home buyers right now in the millennials, bigger than the baby boomers. And so that is going to drive the purchasing up again. It's also going to raise the prices. So all that said is I think we're going to have a better understanding by consumers that we're not going to get back to the 2% and 3% interest rates. They're going to start accepting the fact that we're going to level off probably somewhere in that 5% range. So if you want a house, you got to buy a house. That's what it is. I think you're going to, as agents and brokers, you're going to need to be able to become an even greater counselor to individuals. I see some of it right now where some sellers are like, what do you mean? I'm not going to have 20 showings in the first 12 hours and get 150% of my asking price. You're going to have to be a better counselor. You're going to have to explain what's going on in the market, what they need, what they can expect and anticipate. So I think that is the trend that you're going to see in the next few years. And I think as agents and brokers, you just have to be prepared to handle that and counsel your customers and clients.
And I think knowing that that's the reality that we're facing in the next year, 18 months, 2 years, 3 years, the agents that put things in place today to nurture those people that want to move now, but they're not pulling the trigger, they're going to list their homes. So anything you can do to put those pieces on the chessboard in place so that when the market does turn, that they immediately turn to you, that's when our RE/MAX market share will jump right back up because we have the players in place that can truly take care of those communities.
Absolutely. And that comes down to an old concept of keeping your pipeline filled.
Yeah, always.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So those are our experienced agents. If you're a new agent just entering the industry in 2025, what advice would you give to them, Mike?
Same advice that I got early in my career. Is, take care of your customers for the first 3 years. They'll take care of you for the rest. You focus on creating those relationships. I used to counsel agents on this as they started their career. And there's 2 ways that you can really build your business. One is with time. One is with money. And if you're new to the industry and you don't have a lot of money to go out and spend on advertising and lead generation tools like that, then you got to spend the time. And that time is dealt, you go out and you work with your customers and your sphere of influence, friends, family, networking, all that kind of stuff. And so you have to have the personal aspect of this industry and then use the tools that support that. And don't think that the tools are just going to get you all the leads and build that business. They are a tool to help you create those relationships.
Yeah. Good advice.
So you touched on RE/MAX events that we host as the region. Do you have a favorite memory that comes to mind from one of those events that you can actually talk about?
Well, the regional conference every year is just a labor of love. And putting that together, literally our staff starts within 2 weeks after the regional conference is done every year, and we start planning the next year. So the regional conferences are the highlight when we can bring everybody together. They can receive the recognition, they can learn, they can network. And I look back to the early 2000s when we used to have 900 plus attendees at these events. And it was, it literally was overwhelming. And there's a lot of funny things and that took place at those events, but also being able to stand up there on stage for multiple hours, handing out awards. It was just a joy.
Yeah. Cool. So outside of real estate, what is one hobby or interest that people might not know about you?
Well, this may be hard for some people to understand, but I'm a Spartan fan.
Oh, I'm shocked. Did you know? I didn't know.
I
Never
know.
guessed.
Little bit. So, no, that beyond my family, that is one of my passions in life. is Spartan football, Spartan basketball.
Sure.
But other things that I enjoy in life, number one, and this may be something that people would see as a flip side of that sports, is I love theater. My family and I love going to Broadway shows, and we've been doing that for years. And so that's always a nice counterbalance to my sport fanaticism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you could describe RE/MAX of Michigan in just 3 words, what would that be?
I would probably say professionalism, integrity, and dedication.
Solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's our people.
Yeah. I agree.
Absolutely. So, Mike, what's next for RE/MAX of Michigan, and how can people get involved?
So, what's next is the same as what's been, and that's to maintain being the number one real estate company in the state. And it all starts on the local level. We wouldn't be number one in the state if we didn't have offices being number one in their local market. So that's what's next, is to continue that. Part of that is using the tools that RE/MAX provides, that your brokers provide. And then I truly believe that the foundation of that is community. And that starts at the local level. Now, when COVID hit, everybody scattered and they all went home because they had to, because we were told to. We didn't have a choice. And since then, a lot of people have stayed home, work from home. And I don't think that it's the best thing for our industry or for individuals. There are certain agents that they have the DNA to be able to work independently like that. But I think the vast majority of people in our industry are better together. And so the more we can create that community in our offices with our brokers and with our agents coming into the office every day, learning from each other, supporting each other, engaging in the things that you can only get when you're collaborating with others. I think that's an important step that we need to focus on, is getting back into the office and using that as a daily habit.
And I look at what I see as a foundational RE/MAX strength. Like, what was it unique about this brand that allowed it to grow to the number one market share, to attract the top agents? And really a unique characteristic is having these local offices run by local brokers, many times that are practitioners that are doing business in these areas. The top agents want to be around the top agents, and the agents that want to become the top agents want to learn from the top agents. And you do that by being connected. And it was having those local offices that helped build the brand. And it's still, in 2025, one of the best strengths of our brand is that we have community by community. Maybe it's Alpena, maybe it's Cadillac, maybe it's Three Rivers. You drive through these communities and you see these RE/MAX signs, and you know that the people in them are the elite of the industry. And to really leverage that strength, I want to echo exactly what you're saying and encourage it. Getting human bodies together, having great office meetings, having trainings, talking about listings that you're going to be trying to get on the market soon. That's an advantage. That's really an untold just gold mine in this brand of the RE/MAX network, in every local community and all of those local communities connected across the state.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the foundation of our region here. Is we have our markets divided up by what we call low, medium, and full density. Well, our full density offices are considered low density in many other states. Years ago, I had a conversation with Vinnie Tracy about our region in comparison to some others, and I said all these others have teams like the Chicago Cubs or the Dallas Cowboys or the Detroit Lions. We've got the Lugnuts and the Loons and the Whitecaps. I mean, we are definitely Main Street, small town America, and so we act and do things a little bit differently than some of these big markets. And so every one of those offices, every one of our agents creates value for our region, and we support them wherever you're at, and we just love seeing our agents grow and our brokers driving towards being number one in their local markets.
Wow. Well, thank you, Mike, for being on the podcast today. What a wonderful story and inspiring journey that you've been on throughout the years, sharing what this means to you, your family, to our family. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
It's been a pleasure being here today.
Yeah, awesome. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in to this episode of Recharge. On our next episode, we will be sitting down with RE/MAX Regional Balloon Pilots Dennis Hall and Jody Leatherberry to talk up all things ballooning and RE/MAX marketing. But until next time, my name is Kaylee Wilkinson, and this has been Recharge. Thank you.